Have you ever wondered what happened to all of the headpieces and crowns worn by the ancient Egyptian pharaohs and other high-ranking officials? Despite the abundance of incredible artifacts that have been discovered in Egypt, there are very few examples of these important symbols of power and status. So what happened to all of the gold and precious stones that went into making these valuable artifacts? Join us on an exciting adventure as we uncover the fate of the missing crowns of Egypt. The ancient Egyptian civilization, one of the oldest and most powerful in history, was known for its opulent and ornate burials. Pharaohs and influential of ancient Egypt were often buried with their treasures and precious jewelry, including their crowns. For centuries, archaeologists have been uncovering the graves of pharaohs and Egyptian notables and studying the artifacts within them, giving us a glimpse into the rich and intricate culture of the time. Among the various mysteries to have originated from these ancient graves is about the fate of the valuable crowns and headpieces of ancient Egypt. Despite extensive excavation efforts, many of the pharaohs' crowns have not been found, leaving historians and experts scratching their heads. Egyptians were known for their love of grandeur and lavishness, and their headpieces were no exception. They wore different headpieces on different occasions and for different purposes, each of which held significant cultural and religious meanings. Let's take a look at some of the most popular headpieces of ancient Egypt. The nemes. The nemes was one of the most iconic headpieces of ancient Egypt, often associated with pharaohs and royalty. It was a striped cloth headpiece that was wrapped around the head and secured with a chin strap. The nemes was made of lightweight and breathable material, making it suitable for use in the hot Egyptian climate. The headpiece was often adorned with a symbol of royalty, such as the cobra, known as the urus, which symbolized the protection of the pharaoh. The deshret. The deshret was a crown that was worn by the pharaohs of Lower Egypt, symbolizing their rule over the northern regions of the country. It was a red crown, representing the fertile lands of Lower Egypt and its association with the god of the Nile, Hapi. The hejet was the white crown of Upper Egypt and symbolized the rule over the southern regions of the country. It was made of a white cloth headband with a cone-shaped top and symbolized the power of the pharaoh over Upper Egypt. The hejet and the deshret were often paired together to represent the unity of Egypt. The atef. The atef was a tall, elaborate headpiece worn by pharaohs during special ceremonies and rituals. It consisted of a cone-shaped top, often made of metal, and was decorated with feathers and other symbols of power and prestige. The atif symbolized the connection between the pharaoh and the gods, and was only worn by the pharaoh on special occasions. The cat. The cat was a headcloth worn by pharaohs and other members of the royal family. It was often made of fine linen and was wrapped around the head, covering the ears and neck. The cat was often adorned with gold and jewels and symbolized the wealth and power of the person wearing it. The kepresh. The kepresh was a blue or black crown, often made of leather or cloth and decorated with gold. It was worn by pharaohs during battles and military campaigns, symbolizing their power and protection over their armies. The kepresh was a powerful symbol of strength and courage, and was worn by pharaohs when leading their armies into battle. Now, one question that you may ask is, why were these headpieces worn in the first place? Well, according to historians, the headpieces of ancient Egypt held significant cultural and religious meanings and were worn for a variety of reasons. They symbolized the power and prestige of the pharaohs and were worn to represent their rule over the country. The headpieces were also seen as a connection between the pharaohs and the gods, representing the divine power that the pharaohs wielded. They were also worn to show the wealth and prosperity of the person wearing them, as they were often made of valuable materials, such as gold and jewels. Upon the death of the person wearing the headpiece, the gold and jewels were often removed and used in other pieces of jewelry or placed in the person's tomb as a symbol of their wealth and power in the afterlife. Some headpieces were also passed down from generation to generation and were worn by members of the royal family. The first recorded instance of a missing crown dates back to the 18th dynasty, around the reign of Tutankhamun. The young pharaoh's death mask, discovered in 1922 by British archaeologist Howard Carter, was found without its golden crown. It is believed that the crown was either lost or stolen during the centuries of unrest that followed Tutankhamun's reign. The loss of the crown was a significant blow to the prestige of the pharaoh's reign, and it remains one of the great mysteries of ancient Egyptian history. Another missing crown is that of Queen Nefertiti, who ruled alongside her husband Pharaoh Akhenaten in the 14th century BCE. The famous bust of Nefertiti, now housed in the Neues Museum in Berlin, shows her wearing a beautiful crown decorated with flowers, but the actual crown has never been found. The location of Nefertiti's crown remains one of the most sought-after mysteries in archaeology, and many believe that it may still be hidden away in an ancient tomb somewhere in Egypt. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the looting of Egyptian antiquities was rampant, and many valuable artifacts, including crowns, were stolen and sold on the black market. The exact number of missing crowns from this period is unknown, but it is believed that a significant number of these treasures are now housed in private collections and museums around the world. The sheer number of crowns and headpieces that were likely interred with ancient Egyptian royalty and high-ranking officials is staggering, yet despite extensive excavation efforts, only a fraction of these precious artifacts have been uncovered. The fate of the rest of these symbols of power and prestige remains a mystery, leaving us to ponder the many possibilities of what could have happened to them. One theory about the lost Egyptian headpieces is that the hot and dry climate of Egypt helped to preserve many artifacts, but the organic materials used in headpieces and crowns, such as leather and plant fibers, were more prone to decay and were simply not preserved. Many of the artifacts that have been found in Egypt, such as statues, jewelry, and pottery, were made of materials such as stone, metal, and glass that have stood the test of time. However, headpieces and crowns were often made of more perishable materials that have not survived. As a result, it is possible that many of these simply disintegrated over time, leaving no trace behind. Over the years, archaeologists and historians have searched for Egyptian headpieces and crowns in a variety of locations, including tombs, temples, and other ancient sites, to no avail, and this search continues to this day. Some archaeologists are hopeful for significant ancient Egyptian discoveries thanks to the availability of better technology and advanced archaeological techniques. There is hope that valuable crowns and headpieces of ancient Egyptian royalty will also be a part of the future finds. In recent years, efforts have also been made to recover some of the missing crowns and other treasures that were looted from Egypt. Many museums around the world, including the British Museum and the Louvre, have repatriated artifacts to Egypt, and ongoing negotiations are underway to return even more treasures to their rightful place. However, the biggest challenge is finding the stolen or sold artifacts now held in private collections. Some estimates suggest that more than half of all the Egyptian artifacts discovered over time are held in private collections. The theft of the crowns was not only a loss for Egypt and its cultural heritage, but also for the scientific community, as the crowns hold valuable information about the history, culture, and beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. The intricate designs and decorations on the crowns tell the story of the pharaohs and their reigns. Their loss deprives us of a valuable part of our understanding of this ancient civilization. What are your thoughts about the lost crowns of Egypt? Do you think they were stolen, were separated by the Egyptians from gold and gems and the rest simply disintegrated? Or do you think we still have to find the most significant crowns and headscarves in Egyptian ruins? Let us know your thoughts by leaving a comment below.